Internet people. This is going to be a quick video to talk about Dain interpolation software. I was recently put on the software by a coworker of mine, and some pretty promising stuff online, so I decided to give it a try. On your screen, you can see some of my really animation that I ran through Dain interpolation software. The idea behind Dain is that it is a depth-aware frame interpolation software. Basically, it takes a set of frames that you input, it runs it through a neural network that they've developed somewhere in some back room somewhere, and then it actually will generate new frames to put in between the frames you've already created in order to extend your creation or your project beyond whatever frame rate you've shot it at. In this instance, my original was shot at 24 frames per second, and my interpolated version is at 48 frames per second. So some quick findings, some things to note here is that this interpolation really does make the video a lot smoother. You can tell just from the right hand that a lot of the body movements, the head movements are a lot smoother, a lot cleaner than they were in the original. Now, granted, I'm not the best animator in the world, but at least in this body movement aspect, it seems like Dain is actually enhancing my skills in a sense. On the flip side of that, there are a couple points in the clip where the Dain software just does not do a great job of handling the original. Specifically, looking at the point where my green character here pulls out her firearm and starts shooting. What we is that when the character reaches behind her to pull out the firearm, we get a bit of blur here that is not in the original. Now, in the original, I skip a lot of this motion and make it so that your brain has to assume that the motion is happening. What seems to be happening here is that Dain is actually trying to force this into an image, and that is not really translating super well visually. I don't know if that's exactly what's happening, but it seems like it's trying to create an image where I intentionally left an image out. Something to think about there. Likewise, when the character is shooting the gun at the very end, we get a fair bit of blur that was also not present in the original. We lose out on a bit of fidelity. Not a huge issue, but it is interesting to note. Overall, I think this is a very powerful software. Obviously, I'm only doing this on a 7-second clip. That being said, the 7-second clip took me 2 hours to render on a TI 1060, so resource matter. The only other thing I would really note is that it actually seems to have done a fair bit of good in terms of the flashing. In my original version, I did not do a good job with my lighting, and you can see a lot of flashing as a result. Dain actually smoothed a lot of that out, which is actually probably enough for me to recommend this software just for general use, so long as you're either breaking up your projects or running on a beefy graphics card. Anyway, that is Dain. Thanks for watching.